Hello everybody and welcome to our webinar. Today we will talk about OPEX down, revenue up, how to tame a white elephant. One thing ahead, there was no animal harmed in the production of this video, I promise. And now we will have a look at practical German engineering experiences of an owner and operator of a diverse energy portfolio. So please join with me an experienced international group of engineers to learn the secret of digital solutions for power generation, how to really deliver long-lasting value. And before we get going, we will talk today about what is a high-quality KPI, what is process monitoring, predictive maintenance, predictive analytics. What do I have to do to master an energy turnaround in my market when conventional plants experience enormous pressure? And to show you what we can do for you in that area, I would like to quickly introduce my colleagues here. So I would like to start with Yi Go. Welcome, Yi. He is a principal engineer and consultant with EES Consultants in Malaysia. She has 15 years of experience in power plant performance monitoring and has trained a lot of performance engineers in Singapore and Malaysia. Yi will share today experience she gained in dozens of projects concerning energy management and optimization. And so next one in the line is my colleague Joel. Joel is head of sales and also responsible for business development Vietnam with STEAG Energy Services in Germany. Before he took that role, he was in Singapore for 3 years and supporting STEAG's project development activities over there. I'm glad, Joel, you are back and that you will share your market insights with us today and what that means for conventional units. Third, I have my colleague Benedict. He's the Director of Sales Southeast Asia with STEAG. And without COVID, Benedict, I'm sure today you would be on the ground in Asia, but let's all cross our fingers we can go a little bit back to the old normal sooner or later. So we will see. Finally, a quick word to introduce myself. I'm Dennis Braun. I'm a mechanical engineer. And for example, you can find me on YouTube with the video series GPS for Energy Data, where I give an overview of what our software solutions can do for power plants in the whole world. So now let's get going, and to give you like a feeling where STEAG is coming from and where our experience comes from, from the new world and the old world of the energy, I would like to quickly share my screen with you. As I said, super quick, how to tame a white elephant. And I promise you will know what this little joke means in a couple of minutes when we talk about that. So here we have the activities and the digital footprint of STEAG in the world. You can see Europe, Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, many projects from the project development to operation. We are an established player in the industry and we own and operate a diverse energy portfolio. All technologies, and it's our own and our customers' plants that we gain this experience from, that we provide to our partners in the projects there. We have more than 6,000 employees worldwide, and currently more than 100 gigawatts of capacity are being optimized and monitored by our digital solutions. And also STEAG currently has more than 11 gigawatts of capacity under operation and maintenance contracts for internal and external projects there. So you see, this experience, this is founded on a big number of projects, and we invite you to not invent the wheel twice. If your market is under pressure, you can learn from what other countries have been doing for some years now already. So next, little focus here on Southeast Asia. You see also here in that region, we have many projects already. We have strategic partners, for example, Energy Prime in Thailand. We have Gohfrom in Vietnam, PT Hire Indonesia, and of course EES Malaysia, where we have EU with us today. And yes. So now I would like to switch to Joel, and maybe you could share with us, Joel, what means a project, what can a supplier do on its own, what has to be done together, what actually, how is that going there? So please, let me take out the sharing here a little bit so we see you better.
Thank you so much, Dennis, and a warm welcome from my side. Hello to everybody. Happy to share some of our experiences which we gained over time, especially with a focus to Southeast Asia, where we have been doing business for quite some time now. We started in the product development area, where we have been supporting projects to find the right design, the right location, the right technical concept. But we have also supporting projects during the implementation phase, construction supervision, and are now talking about how to optimize projects which have successfully achieved COD. Doing business in Asia goes hand in hand with a distinct entrepreneurial mindset, which we have experienced while talking to customers, our partners in the region. Users, whether it's an asset manager or an operator or a performance engineer, they want to understand, what do I get in exchange for my investment? So if someone considers to deploy a digital solution, to invest into a digital solution, or to invest into certain strategic measures, there's always a question around what's the payback period. And that is in line with the value-driven mindset which we have established at STEAG to optimize our own fleet. So whenever we are suggesting certain measures to be executed, we need to understand what is the value I get in exchange for these strategies. And that's sort of the guiding principle, which we now want to also leverage while implementing and supporting customers by way of digital solutions. And I think during today's session, we will share what a digital solution actually means in terms of procedural steps which have to be taken.
So why don't we look at this chart that we prepared to show a little bit more what makes such a project, what steps are there, and who has to do what for really achieving the goal after all.
Yeah, I mean, when we are talking digital solutions, whether it's optimizing a conventional power plant, thermal or coal, or whether it's optimizing renewable energy projects, it all starts with a good software product, which we have to bring to the table. And there we are using our own asset intelligence framework, which we have developed over the last decade, in order to optimize our own fleet, but also the assets from our customers and partners. And this is considered to be the toolbox which we use, where we have access to tools like predictive analytics, first principle modeling, just to give you two examples, where we are following both data-driven strategies as well as engineering know-how, which we bring to the table. So first principle modeling, there we are using Epsilon Professional, for instance, which is sort of the global standard for all things thermodynamic simulation. It's a design tool which we have integrated into our system to as a sort of calculation kernel to perform real-time calculations of the complete thermodynamic cycle of a conventional plant. But we're also using advanced process control in order to optimize combustion processes. We're obviously using digital twin technology and our dashboard engine in order to bring information to the user. The second layer, which is then very important, is that we have to add our experience as an owner and operator of energy assets. So based on the asset intelligence framework, we then build a solution which incorporates our experience from engineering, from data science, from our own M&A asset management capabilities. The third layer, which is probably the most important layer when it comes to actually implementing these systems, is that you need to understand the process which has to be supported by the system. And the process is a process on our customer's partner side. So we need to understand how workflows are being managed, how fuel supply, spare parts are being optimized. We need to understand more, let's say, economic, commercial aspects from the daily dispatch and trading, energy trading of these assets. And we have to take into account the IT infrastructure, which has to be reflected while integrating this solution. The asset intelligence framework itself is a very flexible toolkit. So it allows us to really meet our customers and clients' needs. But it's important to note that there is not a one solution fits all sort of concept. It is always that we have to customize and make it in line with what the project our customers really need. And the overall objective of such a solution is to provide the relevant insights, which then can be turned into actions. So it's always important to anticipate what is it that the users, the performance engineers, the asset managers, the operators need in order to derive the right actions. And that's probably a very important slide where we like to share our view of the different layers you may want to take into account while implementing digital solutions.
Thank you, Joel. I think that's a great overview. One question maybe from my side. I don't see the technology there, like it's not coal or wind on that slide. I assume that has a reason, right?
I mean, if you look at Asia, at Asian markets, especially in Southeast Asia, we have seen a significant increase in renewable energy over the last few years. If you just look at Vietnam, for instance, where they managed to implement 4.5 gigawatts of ground-mounted solar PV capacity within just 12 months, this suggests that it poses significant challenges to the infrastructure, to the grid, to the conventional power units, which initially have been designed for a baseload scenario and are now being requested to react to the volatile nature of renewable energy. And that's why we are pleased to have an asset intelligence framework which allows us to optimize both renewable energy assets as well as conventional power assets. Because for us, there's no old world, new world. We always aim to optimize the system holistically by taking into account both technologies, whether it's conventional power as well as renewable energy. And I think this is a pretty important, let's say, precondition if you're approaching projects in Southeast Asia, simply because the market is getting more and more complex. There is a transition from centralized energy systems towards more decentralized energy systems, and that needs to be reflected by the technology to optimize the system overall.
Great, yeah, thank you for this clarification. That sounds very much like what STEAG is doing for many years, even decades. So I'm glad that those challenges are similar and they can benefit from each other overall. So I think now we have an understanding where we are coming from and what STEAG is doing there, what the framework is. Maybe now we could focus a little bit more on the customer, on what actually comes out of this solution there, what kind of benefits he has. So maybe we can now switch to how that supports the user, right? So could you explain us here what we have in terms of process there in the background?
Yeah, happy to do so. I mean, this is a slide which really focuses on the user's perspective, which is for us a very important element. The user, whether it's again an asset manager, an operator, or a performance engineer, they may have different information needs, but they have one thing in common. They are expecting from a digital solution that the system itself should guide the user on what is required, what he needs to do, and when certain activities are required. And therefore, we have implemented 3 strategic steps. It all starts with the raw data, which is then being which then feeds into our system. And the first step is that we apply a digital twin in order to compare the intended mode of operation in relation to the current mode of operation. There we are using both machine learning methodologies as well as first principle modeling, Epsilon Professional, for instance. But once the system identifies an event, a change from the intended mode of operation, the first thing we have to do is we have to run a significance test in order to see if urgent action is required or not. Because we only would like to tell the user of the system, please focus on this area if there is a real alarm. So avoiding false alarms or events which are not relevant, which won't have a significant monetary impact on the current mode of operation, we skip them or we list them down below. But we really want the user to focus on what's relevant for his daily business. And the third step is then that we have to support decision making. So we need to tell the user not just there is an event, there is an alarm, you may want to focus on this, we also need to tell him what he should do. And there we are providing a root cause analysis in order to understand what are the levers we have to adjust in order to fix the issue. And we provide them with a trend projection feature, which is a nice feature in order to identify the point in time at which certain inspections or maintenance measures are needed.
I think that's a great tool to have in your toolbox as an operator of a plant. So maybe next we could look at some example how that really manifests in the daily world. So I think this example here should fit very well. If you would share with us exactly how that goes, please.
Sure. I mean, this is an example from a thermal power plant, from a coal-fired power plant. And coal-fired power plants in Asia, they are facing different challenges. Some of them are running at a fairly low capacity factor, at a fairly low availability factor. And one of the reasons is that boiler tube leakages lead to unexpected downtime. And that's why we have developed our own solution together with one of the partners here in Germany in order to identify boiler tube leakages at a very early stage. So what we see here is on the horizontal axis, you see a time frame of roughly 2 weeks. And the green line basically shows a typical KPI, high quality KPI, where we combine data science and our engineering effort of a microphone. Why a microphone? In order to identify boiler tube leakages, we install microphones along the boiler wall, which then capture the noise. And in case there is a tube leakage, we are expecting noise levels to increase. And the system takes the raw data from the microphones and processes them by way of machine learning, artificial intelligence, in order to identify an increase in noise level at a very early stage, which then suggests that there is a leakage. So here you see a typical profile of such boiler tube leakage. The system is capable of identifying a leakage at a very early stage. If you may want to click, Dennis, then we can basically see that there are certain suitable maintenance periods where we would suggest an inspection or a repair to be performed. So that could be a weekend where it's more favorable from an overall market perspective because energy demand is low, renewable energy is still in the grid. So you may want to use this as a period to shut down your unit and repair. But again, the system is able to identify an issue at a very early stage. It will send an email to the operators, to the maintenance teams, indicating that there is something coming up. But then the system also supports the decision making. So you can monitor the noise levels. And in this instance, there is a very moderate increase in the noise. So you may decide, okay, let's postpone the repair. No immediate action is required, but you may want to use the next weekend to repair. In this instance, we shut down the unit and we looked at the relevant location where the noise level, where the leakage occurred, and we were able to fix it. And what you can see here on the picture is that the hole in the tube is a very small one. So repairs could have been executed quite in a very short period of time in order to then be ready for operation on Monday, Tuesday, the following week. If you won't have acted, or if you won't have used the weekend to perform this repair, consequential damages would have been quite likely, which then would trigger a much more complex repair and a longer downtime of your unit during a week time, for instance, where you would have been able to dispatch, sell electricity to the grid at very favorable market conditions. So I think you can understand that if you can plan your maintenance activities in a smart way, based on a digital solution which informs you at a very early stage, then this is attractive for your project.
It looks like having this knowledge really helps to make a decision. What about if I have constraints from the grid? Maybe the next example quickly for the sake of time here, but I think it's very helpful to see what you can do with this kind of knowledge, right?
Yeah, I mean, here we are using the same methodology. We are monitoring the condition of individual wind turbines in this instance, and there is a requirement from the off-taker to reduce the output by, let's say, 50%. And there are two ways to comply with this requirement. The first way is simply reduce the output of each individual turbine by 50%. But if we do understand that there are certain turbines which are in good shape, others appear to have issues, then you can prioritize turbines which appear to have issues. So you only shut down the turbine which is not in good shape, and you can keep generating electricity with the turbines which are in perfect condition. And that then helps to, again, use the opportunity of a grid downtime or an event where grid capability is limited, to focus on turbines which appear to have issues. And that's an example on how we support smart dispatch concepts across a very diversified fleet of energy generating assets.
So I think it's very helpful to provide this reliable information, and also we will talk about that in a second with Yi as well. But it's not a black box; it's open to the people, and so maybe the people is the user is the right point right now to switch to Benedict and Yi. You two work together very closely for the customers in Southeast Asia. And so please share with us a little bit what you know about what their needs are, please.
Thank you very much, Dennis. It's a pleasure. Yeah, Dennis, for us, for STEAG and our partners in Southeast Asia like EES, the most important goal is to achieve 110% of customer satisfaction in our projects. We've had already fantastic projects in Southeast Asia where we build a digital twin based on a thermodynamic model, so the operator can timely react to deviations in energy efficiency. So it's important that we give very meaningful, actionable information to the operator. And I remember a discussion with a customer, and Yi, you were mentioning an expression, a white elephant, and I really like this expression. It made me a while to understand it, so I think it would be great if you share with the audience the meaning of a white elephant.
Sure, Benedict. White elephant is an idiom that implies something is beautiful but expensive to maintain, and it has no useful purpose. I have seen power plant implemented online performance monitoring system with elegant dashboard with the intention to improve the availability and efficiency of their plants. But at the end, it doesn't materialize. That system had become a white elephant, which means that it was left without anybody using it.
Okay, understand. And do you know why this happened? Can you give us reasons?
We always say rubbish in, rubbish out. Online performance monitoring system is running 24/7. If the data is erroneous, the input into the system will be inaccurate. As a result, the calculated plant performance will also be inaccurate. Take for example, if the operators see on the dashboard, the GT compressor entropy efficiency is more than 100%, would you think the operator will believe it? And how would you expect the maintenance engineer to act accordingly? So over the time, if the system is continuously giving unreliable results, the people will start to lose the faith and don't trust it anymore.
Yeah, that's understandable. And what can we do? What can STEAG and EES do to support in solving this issue?
Yeah, one of the biggest factors that makes STEAG's online performance monitoring system, the SRE-POS, outruns the others is because of the gold standard VDI 2048. The VDI 2048 is a layer of data reconciliation that ensures the integrity of the data. It can identify the erroneous measurement to allow INC engineers to act and calibrate the sensors. Furthermore, the erroneous data can be replaced by plausible values calculated by Epsilon Professional. So the results can remain reliable and trusted by the engineers.
Okay, I understand. And besides the data reconciliation, what other feature do you think would prevent a system to become a white elephant?
I believe that the system advice should be actionable. Dennis, would you mind help me to share the screen to show the SRE-POS traffic light indicator? Because the operators are the one who takes care of the plant 24/7. So I think the traffic light indicator feature in the SRE-POS is very useful. As you can see from the screen, the green Yellow and red color, which indicate the status of the equipment, enable operators to easily identify the condition of the plant. For instance, as you can see from the slide, the condenser show red. Actually, it happened immediately after the shutdown. That's why the operator also puzzled, how can it be? After that, it was found out that one of the drain valves was left open. After they quickly shut off the valve, the icon was then again turned to green color and the plant losses can be reduced. We always would like to relate the plant losses to money. So the plant owner, they feel the pain. Take for example, for combined cycle, on the combined cycle dashboard, we would like to show the GT compressor efficiency controllable losses. If the operators see the controllable losses is a lot of money, if the maintenance engineers start to carry out the GT compressor offline wash, is potentially they can save 200,000. The money can then help the engineers to make decision whether they want to carry out the action or not.
Wow, this is an enormous amount of money. I think it's very important that we create phase in the system. And yeah, how can we do this?
Yeah, the rules of thumb is no black box solution. I always say that belief comes after understanding. Together with STEAG, we carry out a lot of training and knowledge sharing with plant engineers and operators. They will know exactly how the system was set up and how each individual KPI was calculated. Hence, they know how the results were generated and they have the confidence to react accordingly. By doing this, we extinguish white elephant from our business.
So, and my last question is, here we see, to make it also understandable for our customers, but we talk about very, very complex projects. So there are engineers from customer side, the engineers from our side, and besides that, we see there's time differences. There's a time difference. So this is a very complex project. How does the collaboration work at the moment? How can we handle all these points?
Yeah, I would say that it's not an easy task to execute the project when we have different people from different region and background, especially during this pandemic situation. But we are very grateful that we have the best team to work together with German standards of engineering and technology from STEAG and our local support. I would say we have provided our clients a top tier products and services. Our projects always cater and customize according to the client's needs. For example, there are clients who are hesitant to go for online performance monitoring, and they would rather offer offline performance monitoring as a first step. Then ESV can support locally, and when they are ready for online performance monitoring, STEAG will provide them the solutions that suit them the best. In short, I would say that the user experience is the most important and extinguish white elephant from happening.
Wow, great. I see there's a lot of customer experience that we have here with you in the group. So to summarize, maybe it's to say, I heard a lot of experience from the customer who knows their process, from a partner like you, Yi, that knows the tools, that can work closely on site in the local time zone, everything with the customers, and also our people in Germany to support, to have the software. If you have questions, you will get very detailed answers and so on, since it's our own development there. So I think combining all that gives a very strong solutions for very demanding market situations there. And so to come to an end, we would like to invite you all to send us an information here right now in the chat. We are available for you and your questions. Second, we can make an appointment here to afterwards with you to have a talk about really your requirements, figure out what of those modules that we show today have the most value for your trouble there. And finally, we would like to invite you for our free webinar series that we offer this year. It's a monthly webinar where we will look in detail for an hour in those different solutions, different markets. We will also put that link here and you can register on our website. And so I really hope that you could learn something about our experiences in the whole world and in Southeast Asia. We get in touch and you have a good rest of the day. And yeah, thank you and goodbye, everybody.